Welcome to More to Know on Daily Ad Brief. I'm your host, Kent Lewis. Joining us today for Bend, Oregon is Matt Watson with Watson Creative. Welcome to the show, Matt.
Thanks, Kent. Appreciate it.
You bet. In 30 seconds or less, please tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, I own and operate a small agency based out of Portland, Oregon. I live in Bend, Oregon, and we work on a variety of clients from a research perspective that then leads into branding and content creation and digital and so on and so forth. Clients range from sports and B2C type of business all the way to financial institutions, wine, liquor, things like that.
Thank you for that. And I'm wondering, I know you've had a really industrious and productive career as a designer, spending time at Nike and so forth, one of the biggest brands on the planet. And you've been on your own now for quite some time. I'm wondering, what would you say? What have been the major shifts in marketing and advertising since you started your career as a designer and now running a more robust branding marketing agency?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think early on, when people chose the design field, they were much more tactical in what we're doing for organizations and how we're helping them. And what I'm seeing across the board with a variety of clients is that you typically have a chief creative officer or chief design officer. So the creative is part of the innovation engine for a lot of organizations. I think recently the shifts that I've seen inside the industry, and I was always curious about this. We're at 10 years of my company being around as of last month, and I think I was always curious how we would survive a recession, how we deal with an economic decline. And what was interesting about the work that shifted during the pandemic, and plausibly what we're going upon right now, is a lot of the clients are really gravitating towards repositioning themselves, and they're trying to find better pastures oftentimes. And so it's not just about the typical flywheel of content creation, campaigning, and so on and so forth. Organizations are genuinely looking inward on who they are and what they're really about. They're taking the time that they have oftentimes because they're kicked off the conveyor belt of their regular duties of conducting business, and getting the time to kind of reposition themselves. So it's been interesting. A lot of that work has occurred far more in the last 2 years than in the last 10 years. So.
Right. So you're going 10, 20 years or so back. What do you think, looking 1 to 3 years ahead, knowing you've talked about repositioning and how branding is changing, what would you say are the 1 to 3 biggest shifts you expect to see in the next year or two? Something you'd be willing to bet some money on, which is what we do every day as entrepreneurs and business owners and agency folks. But yeah, if there's anything you want to put out there as an emerging likely trend in marketing and advertising.
I think for us, what we're trying to do is to close the loop, to be able to gain a client, service the client for years to come. Whereas before, branding was really kind of a one-off experience for clients, and then you hope the brand lasts for forever. But I think from a small agency perspective, we're trying to make that shift into being a little bit more holistic in our service offerings. But aside from that, as far as trends, the world of social media, ad buy, targeting, all of that seems to get more granular and more complex. So things are going to get more complex. I don't think things are going to get more simple. I do think that doubling down on content and messaging is ever more critical because of the chaos that's out there, because of the oversaturation. I do think that exclusivity and membership opportunities are a great way to retain clients, and I think that a lot of organizations are looking for how they do that, how they approach it, how they architect it out. So that would be the trends that we're following.
That's fantastic. I tend to agree with your assessment of where things are going, and would love to keep the conversation continuing on, but we are out of time. So, I want to thank you for your insights and your knowledge, Matt. To find out more about this episode's guest and topic, please visit dailyadbrief.com. We hope you'll join us next time on More to Know.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.